Welcome to the To Be Named podcast. This is a joint production between the Supernova Bros and Inertia Global. I am Sir Ghost named Greg, or you can just call me Greg for short. With me as always, JT, the MK champion. How you feeling, my guy?
I am great.
And together, what do we like to discuss here on this show, JT?
Together, we talk video games and pro wrestling and other such pops. People with those headphones really like those S's when you're cracking in their ears.
You think so?
Yeah.
Just stings them a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little flavor. Flavor in your ear.
Episode 8.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's the little circle on top of the bigger circle. That's how you make an 8.
That is how you do it.
One right here for everybody.
Bang, bang.
This week, I'm going to throw some monkey wrenches in here because I want some live reactions from Greg. Of course, we're going to talk about video games. Of course, we got a little wrestling news, but some cool things coming out. And we're going to highlight and dig deep on a few things this week. But, Greg, remind everyone why they should put their headphones on.
Why they should be wearing their headphones is to maximize the too sweet 3D technology audio TM.
TM.
You know, we always have to throw the TM in there.
You have to throw TM because some son of a bitch on some Twitter will be stealing it off of us and saying they created the first 3D spaced audio. And I'll say it's wrong. Surround sound. Dolby Atmos. It's us, man. It's us. All right, and I don't want to get worked up, Gregory. All right, I don't want to get worked up yet about anything.
I got called by the government.
Put the headphones on and then listen to this next 3 seconds while we give you sounds because I want you to hear the wonders in your ears.
You got all my wonders.
All right, that's it. Oh, Greg, video games. Did you ever play them? You know anything?
See, I don't know. I've been living a different life in Los Santos. I don't even know what video games are anymore. But without video games, I wouldn't be in my alternate reality in Los Santos.
RP server.
It's becoming bad to the point where I'm doing it more than I'm doing anything else in life. It definitely is a second life.
The thing is and I have some updates. I want to say that Fable 4 was indeed officially announced this week. Who called it last week? Man, I don't know. I mean, that's like 4 or 5 things we have on the rest of basically the news world. Essentially,
we basically broke all the news before anyone else.
We're basically writing gaming history as we do this cast, and that's why it's important that we skip back to the beginning and remind everyone after we say it's episode 8. I forgot to say it is also July 23rd, 2020. All right, that is very important because we need to timestamp that Fable for prediction and correctness. And that also means vis-a-vis, ergo, if you do the math on the last episode, I have to buy an Xbox. What?
You do. You did confirm you had to buy an Xbox One X.
Yeah, and I probably won't get it opening. I'll get my PlayStation first, but then when Fable comes out, I'll pick the Xbox up. You heard it here first.
I don't think there was an official release date on it, was there?
No, but I'll just wait. When the game comes out, I'll pick my Niner series. What is it?
The Xbox Series X.
Xbox
X Series.
But isn't...
Yeah, that's
Xbox
how stupid
X?
Oh
my! It's basically if PlayStation said, "Hey, get the new PlayStation 4 or the 5 is going to be the PS4 Pro X."
Yeah. Basically, yes.
And I go, that just sounds like an upgrade.
I don't know.
Listen,
but I can't confirm that's her name. But anytime I see anything about Xbox, it's Xbox X Series, and I'm just like, this is or Series X. I don't know.
I don't want to rant. But this is the problem. The Wii U failed because no one knew what Wii U meant. Then Xbox comes along and says Xbox One. And then everyone went, we get it, but it's dumb. And then now you further confuse us with this and X and Series. And I mean,
looking at the fact that they're actually getting to the point where the Xbox is so desperate that they're thinking about even giving people free Xbox Live. They're going back. They're doing a PS3 thing.
I don't. I don't know how much the costs are associated with that, but remember, Sony players we just started paying this generation for that privilege to play online against each other.
The Xbox 360 made the PS3 force people to have to pay to play. And now I think PS4 beat their ass so bad that they're like, oh, shit, now we're going to have to give it away for free just to get our fan base back.
Well,
sad.
The free games every month helped. And did that start with PS4? I think that started with PlayStation.
I think that started with Xbox. No, I think that started with Xbox.
Did they?
Because Xbox was doing it where you get 2 games a month. I think PlayStation Plus was doing it, but I think it was like 1 game a month.
Yeah, because I swore when this post generation, there was spitting some games out.
Trust me, my buddy Chris won't let me down the fact that he was getting free games on his Xbox Live, and I wasn't getting shit for my PlayStation Plus, but some half offs and shit.
I don't remember getting them on my Xbox 360, and I was a diehard 360 guy. I don't remember getting any free games from my Xbox.
No, it was an Xbox One thing.
Oh yeah, I'm saying that started this generation.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think I think PlayStation Plus was giving away like certain games, but it wasn't like
but they focused on the indies at first because we got that Don't Starve came out, and then other game where you don't have any weapons and you have the camera and you're in the asylum.
I'm thinking of something big like PlayStation did recently with like BioShock, like something like that. Because Xbox was giving away like Tomb Raiders and shit.
I would agree with that. As the generation went on, PlayStation got, I don't know if it's correct to say better, but higher, budgeted games.
I would say more respected games.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's why I was very careful in saying that. I don't want to say crappy indie games because someone will say, they're the best games. You don't know.
It's a good way to go through PlayStation to get them exposure, but you also got those big games that are like, all right, hey, we trust you guys enough to give this game for free for a month to get you different people to jump into our series. And I feel like PlayStation would be the best way to do it. And Xbox, I'm sure certain people feel the same way for Xbox as far as their free games going on each month.
Well, yeah.
What I find a little bit weird about this, too, is also PlayStation never got Metal Gear Solid 5 for free. But Xbox One got Metal Gear Solid 5 for free quicker than PlayStation, which I thought was a little slap on the face.
That is a little weird, but
I already own it. But it's the idea.
Yeah, I bought mine last summer at GameStop. My second copy of that game.
Great game.
But the thing is to wrap this back around to Xbox is I at this point still don't know what to ask for when I go to the store and say I want Fable 4 and I want the system to play that on because I'm never going to know Xbox Series X.
Xbox X Series.
Okay, see? Xbox X Series. So I want my Xbox X.
No, your Series X.
See what I mean? It's like it comes right back to this terrible place. It's terrible place.
They might as well go. They should go Xbox 370.
Everybody thought 720 would be the predecessor.
That would have been a smart way to do it.
Then it would be, technically back to one.
Xbox One. It's like, all right, well, didn't you already do that originally?
I don't know. I mean, and for what marketing guy? The marketing guy shit all over his.
Where's Bill Gates?
Count his money.
Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. I've reached out to.
Have you purchased it?
Yes. Ghost of Tsushima. If I will say this game is for you if you can say yes to the following question: do you like video games?
Yeah.
And buy this game.
All right. Well, you know what? I did some research behind it. Like I told you last week, I was gonna wait to watch a couple people playing on Twitch, and I like what I saw from some stuff, but I didn't really dive into it because also I was living an alternate life.
The graphics are just something to behold. As we talked last week, it's a nice bookend for Sucker Punch, and just like Infamous, and just like I predicted, like Infamous showed us what the PS4 could do. First Son. This shows us the whole potential that was inside the box the whole time. I haven't enjoyed exploring an open world like this since Breath of the Wild, and there's been a lot of open world games. I even love Horizon Zero Dawn for the story, but I'm talking about pure exploring the world as a game itself. It's a joy. It's like Skyrim, Morrowind, and Breath of the Wild, where just climbing this mountain and getting a look at the vista is a reward in itself. But anyway, extremely violent, fun, easier to play than everybody thought. It's not Dark Souls. It's more akin, you fight like Batman in Arkham Asylum. You're a badass. Right from the start, you're a badass. And it has that multi-directional where you can, if you just hit X and push in a direction, he'll start putting his sword that way.
Does it feel more like Batman, or does it like Batman, Spider-Man, or is it more like what's the other game?
Well, don't think crazy over the top. Yes, it's a nice spot between the Assassin's Creed, the newer Assassin's Creed, like Odyssey and Origins, with Batman. Like, you're a badass, and if you learn how to be the samurai, you're going to be a badass, and that's why you have so much invested in the game. It's not your average earn 500 experience points, and I like that stuff. I'm a numbers geek, and I like my experience points. But this,
you like the RPG aspect.
Yes, it hides a lot of its RP systems. It has a reputation, but as you do things, you learn things. And when you learn a new skill, it's not like you just have it. Sometimes you have to learn the combination yourself. And then remember you have it. So when you feel like a badass, it feels like you yourself are also getting better. So it has that Demon Souls progression and growth that you're getting better at this game. And at first, when the three guys, you're fighting them and you're like, oh, I'm shaky, but you take them out. Then next thing you know, you smoke three guys. And then next thing you know, here's 7 guys. And you're like, oh, I can. And it's just like, once you get in the zone, it's so easy. I wrote a haiku. There was side quests to write a haiku. I literally wrote haikus in this game. It tells you to reflect at certain times, and I hope they impact the story, but at certain times, it'll tell you to reflect on certain parts of your past, and you can choose what to reflect on, and like the hot springs, where they give you more maximum hit points, and just so good. Being just walking around, here comes a bird, a canary, and it's always follow a canary, a yellow bird, and this bird will take you to something good. And it just takes you to a random location. But then there's fox dens where you can follow this nice little fox, and he takes you so you can, honor his shrine, and then he rewards you with things. And
a fox?
Yeah, a little fox. And it's all. Here's what I like about the most. It's a historic. It's based on historic events, with the Mongol invasion. Now, I don't know where it takes its liberties. Obviously, with the main story, it does. That's fiction, but I don't know where the fiction stops and the history begins. But in normal games, you're picking up artifacts, like in I guess Tomb Raider could be a little realistic, but in normal RPGs, you find, like in Skyrim, the Daedra shield. I mean, you can read it, but what the hell does it mean? In this game, like, you can, like, when you find artifacts, it's like, the Mongols used this. This is what they ate on a daily basis, and it was made of nuts and fruits. And like, you find this, and you're like, "Wow, that's pretty cool!" Like, that this was real.
And you have the Star of a Trade. Do you ever hear the Star of a Nimbus fruit? Is that in the game?
What is it?
Star of a Nimbus. It's a fruit in part of Southeast Asia, and it's like it comes out as a star.
I don't know, but I remember the nice. I've been studying from Mask. Cut the fruit open and showed Rocky Dennis the star fruit. So I know what you're talking about. But no, I have a side note here,
but I don't want to. I have a huge side note to go off to, but if I go on it, it's going to be a long rabbit trail, and we're not ready for that rabbit trail.
Rabbit trails are what we do best, though.
Oh, dude, if you really want, I'll get into it. So I bought a bag of...
let me wrap this
up. I got to wrap it up first, and I'll get on about my Welsh fruit snacks.
Play this Ghost of Tsushima. Shame on you if you miss out on it. I bought it with Paper Mario, and I've been really trying to go back and forth, and both great games, but Ghost of Tsushima right now is like, whoa. But I'd like to talk next week about Paper Mario and all that I love and actually don't like about it. So take us out on this tangent, man.
I bought this little pack of Welsh gummies at Gabe's, and they were super fruit. That's what they call them.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there eating them. They're not bad. And I just happen to look at a package. I'm like, well, I wonder why the fuck this leaf's on here. Like, why the hell do you have a leaf on the package? So I go and ask around to a couple of my managers and stuff, and I'm like, "Hey, you guys know what this is?" They're like, "No." And then my boss was like, "I think it's a star of a nimbus." So I'm started looking through here. I ended up doing like an entire YouTube backstory on the star of a nimbus, and it's just this little fruit, mostly grown in Cambodia or Southeast Asia, and it comes out in like a weird. It comes out of a tree in like a weird fucking way, and then it like when you go and cut it up and slice and dice, it comes
Yeah.
out as a star. It's
Yeah.
just interesting.
The star's in the middle of it, right?
Yeah,
And you cut it half. Yeah. I know what you're talking
such
about.
an interesting thing.
And for anybody movie buffs out there, I'm talking about The Mask, 1984, maybe 83 with Cher. And I think that a girl cuts that fruit open. I know. I think that is what you're talking about. I haven't seen that fruit yet. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know too much about history, but they're playing this game made me really. And you know what? Thanks for that tip, Greg. And
this is what you do when you're bored as fuck at work for 1 minute and you're looking at your bag of Welsh gummy bears. Like, what the hell is? I know every other fruit on here, but this one.
You know what? The people out there right now should say thank you, Greg, because the more you know.
The first person I called was my brother because he's a big fruit guy.
The big fruit fan, huh? But what's his favorite?
He was like, "Huh."
No, I'm kidding.
I don't know. Mine's a banana personally, but that's another story for another. I love fruit.
I mean, fruit's good, but watch it. It's got a lot of sugar in it. And people say, that's the good sugar. I know, but just
that is the good sugar.
As you get older, it's a big portion of this show is called As You Get Older by Uncle Jay. And that'll catch up with you. What you slugging down there, champ? A Fega. Is that a Fega?
It's a Faygo cream soda.
Cream soda's the best one. Yep.
That was the only one I really wanted because they didn't have any 24 packs of Dr. Pepper at Shop and Save, so I was completely sad faced.
I mean, I like cream soda. But anyway, let's get back to some real things. Listen, Shadima, I do want to talk about Paper Mario next week. Boy, Destiny's continuing to get harder. P.S. Side note, Bungie's looking into it. And then, but Greg, I wanted to ask you this question. I want to get a little personal on this show this week. What's really, gaming to me, it's a comfort. It is something that's always in the back of my head. Since I've been a little kid and been introduced to it, nothing has ever taken over my, not just my being. I can remember being obsessed and can't wait for games to come out when I was in elementary school. I'm talking 80s, kid. I'm talking about just played Zelda and couldn't understand why Zelda 2 is not out right now. There was no internet. And this has been beat down on every other podcast, and Mike Matei and, Cinemaster guys talk about this. But that was the truth. And then you'd get a little nugget in a Nintendo magazine, and, oh, man, Zelda 2, whoa. And it's always just instantly. Now, this was with the Nintendo. The Atari never, I had one that never really did anything for me. I played it, but I didn't really care. Nintendo sunk itself into my soul and attached it. Then Sega and everything else. But what about, does anybody else out there, I guess, comment, like, share, otherwise argue with me? Greg, I want to hear from you and everybody else. Does anybody else experience that?
No, you know what I experience when I'm playing video games? I feel like it's going to escape. Because, like, right now I keep talking about I'm doing, like, an alternate reality, which is pretty cool. I'm a car salesman in a fucking video game. It's kind of fun.
And let's clarify what...
also...
Well, hold on. Let's clarify, because we've made jokes about the RP servers, and it might go over a lot of people's heads, and I've been asked about it, what we're talking about. And I'm asked about people that play Dungeons and Dragons, and I go, well, he's talking about a role-playing server. RP servers has existed since online gaming has happened.
It's not that serious on our server, but a role-play server, it's like,
yes,
basically you take over as a citizen in a GTA 5 video game. So I'm Ghost Koniki. Currently, I'm a car salesman / fisherman because I'm in the process of a legal case that I'm taking place of on Friday, which I will be streaming on Friday. So check it out today. Actually, this video will be out today.
Plug.
So, and I'll have a chance to get my gun license back because I was doing an Oxy run, which means you can run an Oxycontin there to try to make some money, which is easy money, but it's whatever. It kind of sucks. I actually enjoy fishing a lot more. So you kind of get together with different people, group up. It's like you ever play the PlayStation Home?
So wait a minute. There is no role playing on this role playing server.
There's role playing server. There's cops. There's fishermen. There's
Yeah, but if I come up to you, I can be a cop. Like I'm going to be a real cop. I'm not going to talk to you like a normal person. You got to role play.
You got to be.
You know what? I'm going to tell you what. Your RP server needs some new mods, and I'm coming in. I'm coming. You don't want me there. Role play.
There's douchey cops there. There's actually some really cool cops. EMSs are really cool. Like you have to get revived by an EMS. Cops can pull you over for running red lights or speeding. If you shoot your gun, the cops are alerted and they will show up. And it's fun to be a part of. I love it.
What's your earliest memories of video games?
Streets of Rage.
But
I'll never forget.
Memory, not game. Memory.
Where were you playing?
Where were you playing?
I was playing it. I'll never forget. I was playing living on Greenside at the time. We were underneath Sam, the pizza man, who owns Sam's Pizza. And I remember it was in the living room, and I remember just playing the shit out of Streets of Rage too. That's the only game I played for a hot minute. And then when we got rid of our Sega and got our Super Nintendo, I'm gonna probably butcher your name, and I always forget it. It's like Saturday Night Brawlers. Yeah. It was like, if you know what I'm talking. I think that's might have been actually.
We talked about it last week. Yeah.
And that game was. I played Saturday Night. I played the shit out of that game. Of course, and you know what? I didn't really play as much Mario as a kid. I think I was more into like the wrestling, the fighting games. So like I had the Mortal Kombat. I had the fucking Streets of Rage. Oh, I had Streets of Rage when I got another Sega later on.
Saturday Night Slam Masters is the one we're
Saturday Night Slam Masters.
That's what we're talking about. I was wondering because Saturday Night Main Event that was the WWE.
Also, and then we have the Royal Rumble game, the WrestleMania game, the WWF made that, of course, my brother and I had to have because we were such big WWF, WWE guys. So, I mean, I'll never forget it because that was what I played. That was just my style. I like the side scrolling beat 'em ups the most.
Well, I mean, when we talked last summer, I think before I even worked it, I remember you telling me that, and I was telling you about Judgment. You were like, "Is it like a beat 'em up like Streets of Rage 4?" And I'm like, and I went like this. No, it's not.
Well,
first conversation, I was like, "No."
I also remember a moment at mall cinemas playing the Simpsons machine. I think we talked about that before too. My brother.
Oh my god, listen. I'm getting a Simpsons. I'm getting an NBA Jam, and I'm getting my wife wants the Turtles. Arcade machines. We're gonna have them in our new place.
We were anytime my parents let us go to the Eagle's Nest, they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Sega. Who was right there? My brother and myself. We weren't moving for nobody. My mom and dad had dragged us.
You're old enough to be in the Eagle's Nest at the Giant Eagles.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We only did it twice in our life, but I'll tell you both times we played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and we played Power Rangers.
Hell yeah. Well, I mean, what
two of the greatest
Power Rangers, but I like the new movie Power Ranger movie.
Did you ever play
never into them.
I think another good game, old school. Remember The Tick? Did you ever play the game The Tick?
Nope.
Oh, that was a good side scroll beat 'em up. That was hilarious.
No.
Tick. You got to look that one.
Let me look that up. Is that TIT? Because that's
TICK. It's like the
The Tick. Oh yeah, I thought you meant the Tit. I love that game.
That game was so much fun.
I'm gonna actually write that down.
I didn't get into it later, but it was Comic Zone. Great game.
Was a good game. I remember, I liked the graphics when it was a big deal when the graphics came out. Everybody was making a big deal out of it, and that's why I think the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis era was one of the most fun eras because everybody was so passionately and emotionally involved, and it is now. But as all my people got older, we started less taking sides and just saying, "Get them both." I'm fucking them both. I'll just get that one too. Gaming for me as I got older, I love a good single player game. RPGs were always a favorite. I loved role playing. I love drama. And I love acting. So those games always appealed to me. And as a person who's had extreme anxiety since I was a little kid, I can always remember it being a nice escape for me. But also,
it's nice to imagine yourself being that character as well, too. So that's why I think I always gravitated towards being the male character because I always put myself in that situation. We got to go shoot some bad guys in true crime.
But here's the interesting thing. Back in the day on the Nintendo and the Game Boy, when I was really into the Final Fantasy Legends series on a Game Boy was one of my favorite series. Those graphics were so piss poor back then that you almost had to use so much imagination. So it was a lot easier to put yourself into that little blocky type character. Greg, let's switch gears. What do you think that this announcement's going to be from Josh?
I have no idea.
Josh, all of a sudden, I'm an EVP Sabatini. Did you notice that?
Well, you know what? I'm a little disappointed there was no announcement of the new EVP. I'm also disappointed that we were supposed to get an announcement yesterday, and I was the first one to get on him for that last night. So,
I personally think he was fired, and that's why I think the Colonel's had enough of him. His buffoonery.
One time.
He's gone quiet and basically backed down from this challenge that you threw out there. You know what I mean?
Very much did.
But I will talk about a lot about. No, I'm going to be serious about him. Personal differences aside with me and Josh. Okay, because one time I tried to steal the plant he was running. Oh, don't tell anybody that story too, huh? Wink, wink, fuckers. I won't. I'll say this about the guy. He knows business. I know he's busy. I know he's really busy these days with what he's got going on here. I also know that he is feeling a little frustrated with the amount of response we're getting on how can I get involved and getting on, and then everyone kind of like dragging their ass, getting footage in or getting their promos in, or just I know that's a little bit killing him. But from where I'm sitting, Greg, I don't really give a shit if there's never another competitor in the PVGA ever again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's how you feel, though.
Yeah. What's your take on all this?
Well, I mean,
I know you've been snooping around since day one, and I need to know what you think.
Well, as of right now, I have nothing for you, but I'll tell you what. With you as a champion, to prove your worth, you have to take on somebody, my friend.
No, I actually don't. I actually take matches every single week with competitive ranked people. Okay? And listen, it's not my fault that none of the local yokels around here want a chance. What do you want me to do, Greg? You want me to just give the belt, just burn the belt because no one will come and take it off me?
Well, if you burn the belt, that'd be a waste. But I also, what's the word on the belt, by the way? Anything special about that? I wanted to see it. Are we still waiting?
We're gonna wait. I want to decide on. The belt has been halted till Corona.
That's right. That's confirmed.
The belt has been, to my knowledge, designed, paid for, manufactured, and then I don't know what has happened to that since, but it's not going to really mean anything until we have a live event. So it kind of, no rush. No rush. In the meantime, the nice people at NetherRealm sent me this shirt. It says I'm just says who I am. Can you see that, buddy?
I can see that, buddy. I think it says it's the hashtag champion with the 4. So
yeah, so I mean, what can you do? I'm sitting in a good spot. And you know what? Keep calm. Here's what people don't understand. And this is the simple mathematics behind it. Keep commenting on everything I do and telling me how much better you are. And then come back and argue with me more, because all you do is feed the likes, feed the views on those videos, and spread the social media magic. And I'll get on there and I'll mix it up with people all day long. And as far as Josh and his little announcement goes, I don't care if he announces that he's stuck in his bathroom and he needs a Colonel to come in there and get him out. I don't care.
Damn. Those are some shots.
And I don't care if anybody signs up and comes after me. Whatever, it's there, and I have a ton of people to play in the real ESL tournaments anyway. So I tried to give all my friends and all the locals the chance. No one wants it. So you know what? At the end of the day, Shut the fuck up. You know, just doom, 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 doom. What do you
I mean,
think?
that's a good point. I mean, if no one's gonna be worthy enough to challenge you for your belt, whether it be worthy enough to challenge you, we need footage. We obviously need people
Greg,
to
how many?
show their worth.
Yeah.
You got a good point though. As much
Preach.
as for sure it is, my friend, and as much as I want to see you out there defend your belt, because I know as much as a heelish person you come out to be, you are also a fighting champion and will defend your belt if the challenge is worthy enough. So it's sad.
Greg. Anyway, back to reality, buddy. What do you know about professional wrestling?
Well, I know a lot about professional wrestling, just about how AEW blew NXT out as they say, over in the land of Britain, because 800,000 to NXT 620K. I think it was exactly 812K if I can be proper. But my word, I knew the show was great, but to blow NXT away, NXT must have had a real shit show.
I think after watching highlights of Slammiversary. Now I've been a TNA's fan on and off since 2007. Right after, a little bit soon after Kurt Angle got there in 06. And I liked everything they did. Kind of stopped after the Aces and Eights, and when Bullet Club formed in Japan, I kind of fell away from TNA. But Slammiversary has the Motor City Machine Guns coming back, and are still one of the best in the world.
Alex Shelley's still the fucking man. Shout out Alex Shelley. I always tell him every show I saw him Ring of Honor that I loved him. He never responded. I was sad.
Heath, what's his face?
Heath Slater.
He's got kids.
I got kids.
He's there. You got the Good Brothers.
Allegedly, he's there.
I really liked the show. Boy, they need to really get some people in the crowd, because TNA feels like it's not as good as a live audience, but it still feels real with just some people out there. I think TNA needs to do a little bit of that. I don't have the Access Network or whatever the hell it plays on, so I'm doomed to watch YouTube highlights of all their shows. Which that sucks that they're on such a limited reach network. But I think this boom in the wrestling business might loosen up some other networks to say, hey, look how good TNT's doing, and it doesn't have to look like this crap that we don't want, this McMahon stuff. Maybe maybe we can have some TNA back on normal cable television. So I'm a little more excited that I listened to Gallows and Anderson's podcast. It's about 2 hours. A lot of good information in there. They were supposed to be at the first Dynamite. Just how about that? And then at the last minute, took a WWE deal. Took a contract extension. Might be kicking themselves in the butt. Boy, I read that whole article. It's really good. But I just like the attention going to the wrestling world right now. I think A&E's hitting on all those cylinders. But what do you know about what's going on in New Japan right now?
To be honest with you, I haven't really got a chance to keep up with New Japan as of late.
Evil has left. Was he part of Chaos or in Los Ingobernables? But either way, Evil is the new double champion and leader of the Bullet Club.
Oh shit!
So Jay White is stuck in the UK or whatever, and they can't go to Japan, so they gotta. So I guess Evil's gonna fill that role for now or whatever, but he's also the double champion, I think, because they've unified their Intercontinental belt with the main IWGP. And I just read an article from Okada saying that he thought it majorly watered down the IWGP, and they need to split the belts back as soon as possible.
Oh, for sure.
And it made sense in the storyline, and like that's what Okada said too for the time being. But now it's like going past the story for it, and they need to split it again. But I don't really listen. Japanese wrestling is so far out there that it's sometimes you just have to enjoy the ride and see where it gets you. most things in Japanese culture we don't understand until at the end, and we go, "Oh, okay, this was a pleasant." Okay, but so maybe there's something we're not missing. It's translating, but major things happening, and Corona is also holding them up. Gallows and Anderson said that they were also going to go work a program against Moxley when he was in Japan, if they would have left their WWE contracts. But I guess that didn't happen either. So a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I don't know how I feel if I offer two good friends damn good money contracts to come and take a chance with me, and you go back to fucking Vince, who you've been crying about. Go back to Vince and Triple H, who you've been crying about for two years. I don't know if I have any love for you on that third time you come back to me. I don't know.
I'll tell you how I feel.
So breaking down. It's an exciting time. There is good, exciting wrestling news ever. Now that we're going to slowly see where all the WWE eliminated wrestlers, the furloughed, the laid off, the fired wrestlers, their 90 days, as we all know now, is up. They're going to start, I would say, trickling in all different places. A lot of people are, boy, we're not seeing. What did you think? They were all going to fucking, 25 wrestlers are just going to appear on every fucking show across the world the same day, But people are idiots. Greg, take us into your thoughts on what you said was, now this is a term we've been throwing around a lot lately, best Dynamite show ever.
It was definitely the best Dynamite show ever, but I want to talk about one more TNA guy first. Okay. Before I hop into the best. So EC3 is someone who recently signed to TNA. Yeah. Sadly, I wanted to see him explore his options with AEW, because a lot of his cryptic messages he'd been pulling all over YouTube led to him going to AEW, and I was all for it. His character seems to be a lot different than what it used to be. He's not the top 1%. He actually totally hated that character, it seems as if. And now he's coming into more of like this badass, almost like a John Moxley-like. The dude looks in great shape. I've watched some of his workouts are insane. And I wasn't a huge EC3 guy, but after watching this little compilation on YouTube the other day, I was like, why is this guy not bigger than what we think? EC3, I mean, sadly he's going to be in TNA, but if he does happen to go like NWA or anything like that.
Here's the thing that I think it is.
Big money.
That EC3 name stems from Ethan Carter III, which was his original gimmick, coming from being Dixie Carter's niece, and that was all kayfabe.
Nephew.
So I don't. And then when he became, and this was when I was on the way out of TNA, because I just kind of had to just like American wrestling and me parted ways. I was watching WWE, but it was just like an echo, like a faint echo, and I really started zeroing in on Bullet Club and everything else. And there was that rise of of Ethan Carter III that became EC3 and that went to NXT. I kind of missed all that, but I remember him having a good look. And just to me, seeing him maybe 10 years later now, he looks old to me. He looks like old. I don't know. The year may have not happened. I have not really seen him in the ring in 10 years. I'm going to watch because I do want to put some stock back into TNA, because remember, AEW can't be the king and the only king. Competition is what makes the wrestling world great. It makes every business great. So competition is healthy, except you, Vince. Fuck you and WWE. But
mostly Vince.
EC3. Now there was a documentary on him or something you were telling me about?
It wasn't a documentary. No, it was a compilation of all these messages since he got released from WWE until now. And man, it was like, if you guys get a chance, it's maybe 14, 15 minutes long. Watch it. Like, some of the things he say are just like, why is this guy not bigger than me? Like, where I'm getting at, why is he not bigger than what he should be? He should have been AEW. They should have thought about, be like, okay, you're coming for the open challenge and taking it off Cody. That's how great he was. I'm being dead ass about that. That's probably the realest thing you're going to hear me say right there.
Well, though, I don't know, because here's the thing, though. Anybody that says I should have went to AEW, there's no one that they turn away. For immediately, I said Gallows and Anderson need to get the fuck out of the States and go back and legitimize themselves. TNA's, and I didn't think of TNA. Gallows was over in the Aces of Eights. I think he really came into his big LG type character and then just perfected it. With working with the Bullet Club and Carl Anderson, great mentor to, same age, but so I think, I didn't want them to go to AEW. I don't want everybody to go to AEW. I wouldn't just say, give me Okada, give me Naito, give me everybody from New Japan either, and give me the whole. I mean, and then what? We don't see all the great stars it is on Dynamite right now.
It's true. But also, there's a pandemic going on too. That's how to prevent that. And I'm sure we'd actually probably would get some New Japan guys, or some other the AEW's got a thing with who is that? One or not one? It's the Chinese Wrestling Federation over in China.
Yeah, OVW.
And like with
where the Young Hearts are from.
Yeah, the Young Strong Hearts and everything.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of a shame we wouldn't see those guys anymore because those guys. Though they weren't known here in the States, they were still good wrestlers, and they were still a different style to watch on TV.
Oh yeah,
I watched a lot of one of them in NWA a lot too, because I've been trying to keep up with that a little bit more. I really enjoy that programming on NWA as well. If you ever have a chance to take a look at that, that's all on YouTube.
All right, man. Now you want to get ripping on this AEW?
Let's get ripping on this AEW, the best show of all AEWs in a while.
Well, you tell me about it because I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I'm going to get into
popular demand of our fans. They want me less of me, more of you.
I want to talk about Eddie Kingston and how awesome that match was. Because this is some guy who Cody was coming out. There was no entrance. There was just Cody out in the ring. And I'm like, okay, this is different. So what the hell are they going to do? They did it very strategically. Right after Cody was announced, here comes Eddie Kingston. Some guy who I've seen in NWA, but I never paid attention to. I think whenever I started watching NWA, I think he was on his way out or he was just doing a promo role. I don't remember ever watching him wrestle. So this was my first time. And man, when that dude started talking on the mic, I was like, ooh, I got to hear what this guy has to say. Because he just grabbed my attention right away. He's like, your mentors were, all these other people was like, my mentors were alcoholics and drug dealers. And I'm like, oh, damn, this guy's that fucking street.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and then he showed it in his wrestling. And every time he hit Cody, it was like, ooh. Every time Cody hit, it was like, ah. And it was like, and then the thumbtacks, and then this, that, and there's these different spots, and they were just hitting people so fucking hard. Tables are breaking, no disqualification. I was literally I was at work when I watched this match. So I'm sitting there trying to hold back all my excitement. But man, anytime a customer came in, it was quick pause. Let me take care of you because I'm not missing a second of this. Cody Rhodes knows how to put on a match. Eddie Kingston put on a match. At the end of the day, there was thumbtacks. Cody Rhodes got hit on the thumbtacks. And then somehow came back and won that fucking match some way, somehow. And I love how they're doing this whole thing with the TNA title. And I hope that the TNT title next week has somebody even better. And man, I'll be interested on who it is. And it might be Matt Cardona.
Eddie Kingston. I like the package. It reminds me of a Sandman,
Yeah, a little bit.
Or who's the crazy people who's that crazy dude that stab people? The big black dude. Chad always talks about him. He stabs wrestlers.
Abdullah the Butcher?
No, this guy's
oh, he's talking about
New Jack.
New Jack, yeah.
He has a New Jack vibe, right? Like that. I'm from the streets. I'm not no kid. I'm gonna hurt. I'm gonna hurt somebody. And I was like, ooh, whatever that guy came out, Eddie Kingston, and portrayed, I bought immediately. Mm-hmm. It was such a confident of just the delivery of his promo, the wrestling to back it up. He has absolutely nothing to be ashamed of that match. That was fantastic television. Cody, thumbtack bump on TNT. Listen.
I loved it.
Giving away greatness. Giving it away now. Giving it away. Thumbs up, thumbs up. So you give that segment a thumbs up? I do.
If I had multiple thumbs, I'd give it. I only have 2 to give, but I'd give like 10 or 12.
What's next?
And I feel like that match against Griff Garrison could be a setup for the match next week as well if it's not Matt Cardona, which I think it's Matt Cardona.
Why do you think that?
I just got this.
What dirt sheet did you read? What dark web dirt sheet?
Well, I'll give you a dark web. It's called this thing right here. I'm using my brain, and I'm speaking into existence. Matt Cardona debuts on Dynamite next week against Cody Rhodes.
Okay. I heard rumbles of Zack Ryder, that motherfucker, but I heard that it was going to be him.
No, it's Matt Cardona.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, hey, I guess we'll see. All right. What do you got up next, buddy?
So next is the thing that you want to get into. It's my favorite tag team. You know that. The Young Bucks versus the Butcher and the Blade. And then Falls Count anywhere.
Oh, God.
How's your ears feel after that?
I'll say what I have to say and then run.
Voice of an angel.
The Jacksons obviously continue to innovate every time they're on the television. I've seen new things from them. Facts. They wrestled the big man's game and a backyard brawl that seems to be a little more of the comfort zone of the two bruisers, Butcher and Blade. They wrestled to them, and then Butcher and Blade wrestled to the Bucks in the match. Double effing off the effing tunnels, smashed through the tables. What do you say to that? They're the best in the world. If I watch them and I pretend I'm Vince McMahon going, how much great things I could do with these guys and thinking of all the ways he could ruin them. But Butcher and Blade, boy, you showed everybody last night that you do belong in this division. Congrats all
I was about to ask you that. I was fixing to ask you about that because, man, did they look good too.
I just don't like their new look. I don't like I don't like it. Are their clothes stuck somewhere where can I go get their old uniforms? Because in the promos, it's their old uniforms. I like when the Butcher would pull that monocle out and throw it, and it was on the chain, and it would always just. I like that. I don't know where they took that turn. I don't know. So it's a little.
You don't like
in the mud.
So you don't like the Miami Vice Butchers?
Yeah, I don't know what they are. Like, I'm here to serve me my sloppy joes or whip my ass. The Butcher, the guys that originally showed up, we knew what they were here to do. I don't know whether I should tip this man for bringing my Chick-fil-A or what. I don't know.
I'm looking at Bleacher Report, and they actually gave this match rating a B-. I feel like that's very disrespectful. This is definitely an A plus match. Or maybe not A plus, but at least an A. Wrestling match.
I'll tell you why it's a B match because
it was an A match.
Well, I don't know how many backstage brawls where you're throwing meat in someone's face that are going to give you a good. Remember that Bleacher Report's not entertainment value. That's an opinion. At the end of the day, there's no right answer on this. Not a lot of people are going to like that rolling around in the back kitchen and throwing the meat. Not a lot of people understand just the Young Bucks in general. Okay, they are destroying the business, killing the business. So I think B- fair. If you cut out all the backstage antics and the Falls Count Anywhere stuff and just show me what in the ring, B+. Because it strays so far from the true art of the carnival ring and the vaudevillain backgrounds to this called phenomenon we all follow.
It's 2020. Grow the fuck up. All right, so let's get into the next one. So this match, you're right. I didn't really care for this match. You know what though? I take that back because I at first didn't care. Then I watched these two ladies go. And I was impressed. I was more impressed with Ivelisse than I was Diamante, or what's her name?
Diamante.
I don't want to butcher it. Diamante. I did like the finish a little bit more. It's your typical like surprise roll up. Well, this one, I think it's going to build for a storyline, and they're also going to be doing that 16-woman tag team match. Don't be surprised to see these two Puerto Rican ladies getting together and possibly pushing for that, because that was a really good match. I think it was to show their skills to each other.
Yeah. Were they not both, or was not Ivelisse? Because I've been following Ivelisse for a couple years on Instagram. Has she not been? Was she not in LAX?
She was in LAX. She was with LAX with Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah, and Diamante. What was the other Latin American faction that the Bucks? Oh, it was the Lucha Brothers. Never mind. Actually, the Bucks screwed over the Lucha Brothers to get. I remember Ivelisse being with Santana and Ortiz when the Bucks cheated the Luchas and got the belts to LAX. I remember her with that. That was right before AEW kicked off.
AEW.
I'm not impressed with Ivelisse. Diamante maybe, but boy, rough match to get a hold of. But I have tough standards, man. But I feel if you're on Dynamite, I can't see stutters.
But there was some stutters, but it was still a decent match. It was this gentleman grade is a C, and I can safely agree with it. It was a C grade match. So up next we have Alan Angels, I believe that's his name.
Yeah.
Angels versus Adam Page, and Adam Page basically wiped the floor with this guy this entire match. This all was meant for the ending.
Well, against 5 of the Dark Order.
So this is against 5 of the Dark Order, of course. Let me emphasize that as well. I'm sorry. So at the end of the match, obviously Adam Hangman wins the match very decisively. Although Alan Angels doesn't look to be a bad wrestler, he just looks like he had to be put against one of the top guys who had to get squashed. But I think it all is going to lead into a Dark Order. Obviously, it led into a Dark Order versus not Young Bucks. Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega next week for the belts. So we had Brodus Lee come out, and he came in trying to tell Hangman, "Hey man, I know that you don't want to be left or you feel you've been betrayed, but you can always come and join the Dark Order, this, that, and the third." Obviously, it came down to Luke Harper. Wow, I'm an asshole. Brodus Lee come down to saying, "Well, you made your bed, now you have to sleep in it." Takes Colt Cabana in the back while everyone else goes and attacks Adam Hangman Page. The first people to show out, though, are FTR. What's unique is they come out with a styrofoam cooler full of beer. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Smashed one of them over the head with a cooler of beer. And then you got they started getting a brawl going. Then comes Kenny. So it all built about going into the feud, or was going on last week with Adam hanging out with them backstage having some beers. And so it's planting them Salt Bay and the seeds in a little bit, if I may add.
It is. But at this point, I'm so over the Dark Order that nothing. If you're just like a goofy circus now, they remind me of the Misfits from the WWEs and the Attitude Era, whatever. They had the insane clown posse and whatever they were.
Being managed by who's Luna Michonne?
Luna Michonne managed them, dun 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 the psycho, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's what they are, and it sucks because I really, 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 really liked Brody Lee. I like him, but I want more for him. But I'm just not getting this. It's not. You don't have anybody that's cool. You can't give the guy all jobbers except, and now Uno and what's his Grayson are like goofy jobbers with the other two now, or everybody else. Colt Cabana is not really going to be a member. The writing's on the wall that there's a turn there. No one that Brody Lee or any of the Dark Orders go, or do you want to join? No, we in our minds never say, oh, they might join. No, they're not going to because it's stupid.
I think it is going to get better down the line. I like the Dark Order. I kind of like what they're doing. I like the former Super Smash Bros. Dark Uno and Grayson. I'm only expecting big things from them, to be honest. And I like this little recruitment tree they're going on right now, and I think they're looking. They acquired Anna Jay, though we haven't really seen Anna Jay with the Dark Order as of late. So I was curious to see what she comes out to whenever they have the 16-woman tag team tournament.
She's with the Dark Order? Is that?
She did. Whenever she lost the match, she took Brodus Lee's jacket and went in the back, and we haven't seen her since.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Good story. Well, I'll tell you what, before we get on to that main event, I need to do a real quick shout out to one of our sponsors here. THQ Nordic has been hooking me up a couple times here with Darksiders, the Genesis, and I got this right here, Desperados 3. Greg, we're going to be giving away Desperados 3. If you made it this far in the podcast, we're not going to say anything about this, okay? But if you made it this far, game giveaway, Desperados 3, all right? I do have to open them so you don't return them. So you don't return them or trade that. Wait, trade it in. I don't shit. THQ Nordic, I have 2 copies of that. I have one to give away. The person that's going to, drum roll. I'll add drums too, but it's cool.
Go on, drums.
But when we release this podcast, the person that shares it and gets the most likes or shares from their post, they just need to take a picture of it and send it in. Send it to me or to you, and we're gonna pick a winner and send out that game, buddy. All right, so game giveaways this week is all we're going to say. Game giveaway. Thank you, THQ Nordic. And they want a top 5 list. So I put together my top 5, Jason Swinchuk's top 5, before we get to the main event segment of this show. My top 5 WCW theme musics are, starting with number 5. Disco Inferno came out to a little song called, and now we can't play any of these for fear of copywriting, because believe me, the YouTube will spite you, boy. They spite me. They'll get you. All right, Disco Fever. But when it hit, here's the thing: when the song hit, it's goofy, but when the song hit, you got to smile, and you knew you were on for a show. I thought Disco Inferno was a cool heel to squash. I always liked him, and people hated him, but I thought he was definitely a cool. You need jobber heels, man. You need jobber heels, and he'd have that music and dance and disco. I liked it. Number 4, Raven's Flock. Now, WCW did this thing in the 90s where they'd rip off some major music and just use subtle themes. And Raven's Flock was like, dun 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 which is a Nirvana. All right, DDP's dun 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 Cell 5 is Nirvana. So they would, and Jimmy Hart composed, I believe he composed a lot of those, and he knew how to find the melodies and tweak them just enough to avoid that copyright. But Raven's Flock had it was just that dun, 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 dun. And I remember how cool, and I was an NWO, but I always thought how cool Raven was. Just like, he didn't care. He was the Orange Cassidy before Orange Cassidy. So for fans of Orange Cassidy, folks, Raven was doing it in the 90s. No dig on either one of them. But loved Raven's Flock's music. Bret Hart's theme, number 3. Bret Hart's theme in WCW. Everyone's used to the guitar screeches of the WWE. It was different, and everybody right now, after you get done listening, liking, subscribing, sharing, calling your grandma's friend from church Betty and telling that bitch to watch his podcast. All right, then go to YouTube and listen to Bret Hart's WCW theme, because it's like a watcha, because I'm getting real live themes here for you, Greg. All right, that's what that sounded like. All right,
only the realists here at this.
Only the realists.
Podcast.
Number two. This, when I say the Four Horsemen theme, everybody's going to think about the stupid WWE theme. No. And there was a later one in the WWE or the WCW era. I'm talking about the one from the Pillman era, when it was when Pillman was in the Horsemen, and it was right when Rick came back around 94, 95. They used that, and it would be like, it was just a really cool riff, and almost like, I don't want to say very NWA, but it had that, like, Pillman would come out with this cane and be like holding it, and it just had that cool. When that music hit, you knew cool shit was gonna happen. And then number one, if you haven't listened to me say 10 words in 10 years, one thing everybody should know is that I've been too sweet since '96, Gregory. Okay, and that is because the NWO. That's because the NWO, all right, buddy? And that theme right there, that's probably the best wrestling. I won't say it's the best wrestling theme out there, but if anyone says, Jay, what song you coming out to, just know it's the NWO. All right? You know what I mean? And if we have to let Vince take the money on that video, then oh well, whatever. But there it is. That's my top 5 from THQ Nordic, giving away Desperados 3. It's some kind of weird cowboy simulation. I don't know, man. You got to sneak around, do some things. Could be fun. I don't know. Like, share, subscribe, send us the details. You get the game. Greg, the main event match.
Jurassic Express versus Jake Hager and Chris Jericho. No, you don't have to say it like that. I just wanted to say it because I thought it'd be funny. Okay, match. I can't really get too much into it. I do like what I think Luchasaurus is improving. I've been saying that each and every week. He's only getting better. We know how much I'm obsessed with Jungle Boy. The Jake Hager, Chris Jericho team, though, wasn't really getting it. I think I was more into the whole like Sammy Guevara, Chris Jericho thing, which is good, which we'll probably get to a little bit later. But it's just it didn't. That whole match really didn't take my attention. And it's kind of weird being me such a Jurassic Express fan. Also, you know, how much we have expressed how much we loved Chris Jericho. It just wasn't a match that I was invested to. I was more invested in the ending of the match.
Well, I thought I liked it. Here's the thing. I like it. All right, everybody. See you next week on the To Be Named podcast. That's it. That's all I have to say.
That's all you have to say?
That's it. See you next. Ghost name Greg. No. Here's what I saw some very great highlights in this match. Luchasaurus, I'll give a dog a bone when it's due. I'll give a dog a bone and say, here's what I like. Jake Hager versus Luchasaurus, 2 big men's clash, and they wrestled both like big men. Boom, came at each other like Godzilla and King Kong, just whacking. Both then resorted to their alternate tactics, which is MMA for Jake Hager, and he looks good. He looks good catching and doing a takedown. All right.
Very much so.
Style number B for Luchasaurus is luchaing. And again, he's a fucking half a step kick off on those, because it has to just be the fact that he takes a second to say, I don't really want to kick you in the head. I don't know what it is, but he's always a half a second. But it seemed like and Jake Hager is not the best guy in the ring, by no means. He's a power wrestler. I don't like him as this MMA thing, but I understand that we have to scrub the taste. Even though I was a fan of We the People, we got to scrub that out of our mouth. I get it. But when the man went from big man throwing those haymakers to I'll take your ass down, he transitioned well. Lucha stumbled. But Lucha, like Josh has been saying for months, like I've been saying for months, I swear to God, Josh was here last night watching. I said, Greg called him and told him what we've been saying because he stepped his game up and he came out wrestling a big man like a big man. Boom. Now two big men with something up their sleeves, MMA and then this Lucha stuff, but make it look legit. Make it look good. We'll get there. Jungle Boy, Jungle Boy, what can you say about him? What do you want to say about him?
I love him. I also like the fact that Luchasaurus listens to my advice.
I am has he been listening to this podcast? Because there is nobody out there critiquing him on what we critiqued, and he fixed it. And now again, he's a half a step off, but he's usually a step and a half off on those.
Yep, I agree.
He's getting better.
Don't you love it though?
Getting better, man. Hey, I'm great. I don't want to, I don't want anybody to lose their job. If you really suck or you like hurting people, then yeah. But I don't know. I want to like you if you're on the roster. But it just takes. It's just like, man, I don't know who's getting the rub here, like Jungle Boy or Lucha. I don't know. You know, I'm ready to do something with all three of them, and I don't like Marco's stunt. And I wish every Dynamite ended with Kenny Omega hit him. I wanted Dynamite. I almost said Nitro. I wanted Dynamite to end with Kenny Omega just doing this on top of Marco Stunt's face.
Disrespect on my man Marco.
Yeah.
You were waiting for me to talk about the return of Sammy Guevara? Dressed up like I can't remember that wrestler's name. Comes in there, does a little thing, beats somebody with a bat, comes out of nowhere, reveals the mask, and it is nobody but Sammy Guevara.
Greg, how did you feel about that? Then I'm going to tell you how I felt.
I was very different about it. I was happy to see Sammy back. I've been missing Sammy. We already talked about the whole allegations against him with Sasha Banks. How I was it's whatever. So to see him back as quick as he was, man, was it good to see.
Good for you, totally good.
Totally
I want your truth. See, now I watched it and went, ooh, is this too early? Like to see you back too early. And that just might be age.
I feel like I think the Inner Circle needed Sammy back because he kind of gave them a different edge. And I think Tony Khan has something planned for Sammy and needed him back.
Fucking rape all your friends.
Allegedly.
He's going to say he's going to rape your friends, Greg.
Allegedly.
What if he was hanging out at my house and he said he was going to rape your brother? You wouldn't.
It's probably allegedly. It was probably allegedly.
Well, now can we wrap it down, or are you going to end then? Me again.
I'm ending it right there.
Are you going to end then?
Send it. And then.
Greg, where could an interested individual that would like more information on you and just what you do? Where could they
find me? You guys can catch me on Twitter at GhostNameGreg. You can find me on Instagram at TheGhostNameGreg. And if you want to catch me on the Twitch TV playing that too sweet role-playing, twitch.tv/TheGhostNameGreg. Check me out. Drop a follow. Subscribe if you feel as if you want to. Also, make sure you guys keep out for the Super Banana Bros podcast Patreon. Patreon.com/SBBP.
Get that? You got any sweet rewards up there yet? You know,
there's some on there. You can take a look. We're working on the merch. We want merch. I'm gonna start working on some more. I'm gonna start putting some polls and some surveys up, so that people want to get a little bit. If they want us to zero in on some more things, trying to throw a buffet of people out. Everybody thought that the movie thing that I talked about was cool, so maybe a movie, but that kind of leaves you out of it. So you know what, folks? I'm not much of a movie guy.
Yeah, it's growing, it's changing. But either way, me and Greg are gonna hold each other tight and wiggle through all you haters as best we can.
Facts.
And at the end of the day, find me at inertiaglobal.com, or you can, in any social media format, Google your dog pal, Ask Jeeves. Ask Jeeves, who's a hashtag MK4. All right, MK4. And that's not how you say it. It's MK Champion. But the A is a 4. You know what that 4 means, right? All right, said it there. All right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Make sure you guys do like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure you guys comment down below. We want to know what you have to say.
I mean, Greg does. I don't.
I do. JT doesn't, but I do. So Greg make sure you guys leave them comments.
I
check it every day.
Peace.